some of these buildings that I really wanted to get a good look at to see if they have any structural damage, or if they have any roof damage. I can barely see them. The visibility is so poor right now with the intense rain bands that we're getting. I'm gonna put my back to the wind right now and let my back take the wind instead of the microphone here. But it looks good. Things look good. A lot of the buildings are still intact. Roofs are still intact here. A lot of the street signs, a lot of the light poles here are swaying pretty good, but they are still intact. I was watching that one palm behind our camera. It's split in two, but it's still upright, which is good. And with our wind direction, that was the projectile. Let's go out toward the beach and not towards us. We're well positioned here to not have any flying debris at us. There's very little in our immediate vicinity that would come our way. Again, Dr. Navarro, this on the radar has got to be pretty fascinating to watch. I wish I had an opportunity to pull out some electronics. Can't necessarily do that in a hurricane, but wow.
Yeah, Mike, this is unreal. Watching this unfold in real time. I'm seeing the images on the screen. I'm looking down at my radar, and I'm seeing that northern
Here's to the wildcats till we die.
It's unbelievable.
This
and
I
I'm seeing
gotta try.
debris flying in behind you off in the distance. The camera there showing you the palm trees and the rain. And yes, you're right. That wind is screaming out of the northeast right now, and that lightning is still going on. Those higher values of like the strongest of it might be off to your east, but man, those winds have to be incredible right now that you're going through in Naples.
Yeah, it's something. That's for sure. And it's amazing to think that so many.
Andre.
It's amazing to think that we have built so well in this part of the country that we can sustain these kind of forces from Mother Nature. No one wants to have to go through this. But this is reality, right? This is Mother Nature. This is what it does. So all we can do, instead of maybe being at the mercy of Mother Nature, which sometimes becomes very cliche, is we can be smart against Mother Nature. We can build stronger, we can build better, and
that was Universe Sandbox.
A shining example of that.
Sandbox.
So many times, I think a lot of lessons could be learned from what Florida has gone through and what they've done to fortify themselves against hurricanes. These are the nation's biggest disasters, the costliest disasters, sometimes the deadliest disasters, and they cause immense heartbreak. And it's not just, for one town. It's sometimes it's an entire state. And that may be the case with Florida this go around. This is going to be, before all is said and done, once again, a multi-billion-dollar disaster. But think about if we didn't build the way we built, that price tag would be even higher. So those are great things that are happening for us in Florida right now. Those are great things that we can learn from. But right now, with these winds gusting over 100 miles an hour as reported out here in Naples, this is the real meat of this hurricane. And again, I put my back to the wind here and take a look at down the street and just observe, a few pieces of small debris are flying by. Generally, it's pieces of vegetation, it's leaves, it's little tiny branches, it's palm fronds, and that's about it. And I like to see that too. We're not seeing big pieces of metal or roofing or signs or items like that can become deadly flying by. In fact, I'm surprised we don't see even more. But it's mostly leaves and stuff like that. So that's a really good sign for sure. Winds will be gusty like this until we get out of this high wall. Dr. Navarro.
I do a desperate situation.
Wow, I'm listening to the audio coming in, Mike. I could barely hear you. I heard you say my name, but I could barely hear you even say the question because of the winds in your microphone right now. We're looking at,
Hey, Doc, let me repeat that, Doc. Give me an estimation on when we might get out of this eye wall in Naples and maybe in some calmer winds.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, great question, Mike. I was literally going to say you were about 10 miles from clear sky. That eye is moving on very quickly. Give it 15, 20 minutes, and you are likely looking at clear skies in Naples.
Yeah, I feel like I've never been in a boxing ring, but I feel like this is just like going like 12 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. This is we just get beat up here with these winds. You know, and I look up the street too. I do see branches, more leaves coming down the street here, and now it looks like our winds are turning almost right out of the north. And really getting hammered by driving wind. So far, this is Irma and her fear system. And these winds really now start to pick up. That tells me that we're getting into likely the center of that eye wall, and right in the heart of that eye wall is where you're going to end up getting the most intense winds. I'm going to do my best here, folks, to try to protect this microphone because this thing has taken on a lot of water. Forgive me if I put my back to the camera, but sometimes that's to protect my eyes and to protect our electronics here. This, again, I look down the street, I see one stop sign that's bent over here. All the light poles still doing great. They've not come down. Amazingly, it's a small target. They're going back. They're waving back and forth. That's for sure. They've not gone down. Look at some of the other trees. Palms are doing great. Some of the banyan trees still holding strong. So these are all encouraging signs right now. But this won't be the case. You're getting just a small snapshot in just the frame of the picture here of what's happening in this spot. You know, this is playing out over the entire span of the intense eye wall of Irma, right? So this is why so many people are asking to actually board up and get out of the way.
I'm getting there.
All of us that put up the storm shutters, you're going to be great. You're going to go through this in good shape. All of you that have sandbagged, I think you're going to do this in really good shape. There are moments you stand in those winds, it truly will take your breath away. Because you've just got to brace yourself. You got to get as low as you can and just let it hit you. White sand's always good. And that's the meteorological. Let's talk some more about this. As far as this eye wall goes, I know you're in Naples, but there are other places that are the exact same thing that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah, Mike, Naples is absolutely, those strong winds are coming in. I didn't hear the last part of your question, but we're seeing some outer bands also move through Fort Myers, a little bit farther up to your north. We're seeing some lightning here and some stronger, potentially thunderstorms off to your east in Naples. But again, that eye and that clearing is coming up into your area. That is imminently going to be moving over here in, I would say, about 20 minutes. But you can see Marco Island is right near the center, very clear, just off to the south.
Yeah, that has been Marco Island. That was our second landfall location in Florida after the first landfall that happened last night in the Keys, in Cujo Keys. And so now we watch for what happens from this point going forward, because now we're hitting a lot of population, right? Now we're putting a lot of people in the trajectory of this Category 3 hurricane. The one thing that we can hope for is that some land interaction will help weaken this system to a certain extent. So what you see maybe right now in Naples, maybe that's not exactly what you see in Tampa. Maybe that's not exactly what you see in Orlando. That's the hope. It doesn't always work out the way we want it to, but generally as meteorologists we know that land interaction can help weaken a storm. This eye wall, really sitting out quite a bit right now. Looking for So the water's gone way out in the Gulf of Mexico. We're talking hundreds of yards out. That's how strong the winds have been pushing the water out. Surges at this point, zero issue. But it becomes an issue probably within the next couple of hours for a place like Marco Island or a place like Naples, because the winds turn from the west as we get on the southern side of Irma. And that southern side is what pushes all the water right up against the coastline. The beaches will be eroded. That's right, the beaches will be eroded. The water comes up over some of the dunes that are meant to protect a lot of the homes that are waterfront. And then you get that water that then comes back into the neighborhood. And the good news about that kind of flooding, there is any good news, is that it can actually exit relatively quickly. Once the winds move by, they weaken, and they change direction. A little bit different than Harvey. We had rain flooding, and it was in the air, they go bam! These winds in this eye wall are something else. I gotta tell you, I don't even recall the last time I was in wind-driven rain like this before. I feel like if I didn't have this eye protection on, there's no chance I'd be standing out here, because the wind would just be driving it right into my eyes, and it'd just be too dangerous for my eyes to be out here. Got to have the helmet on as well. Hopefully, folks, I can give you kind of a play-by-play of what's happening here in Naples, and those of you that have loved ones, family, friends that you've been worried about for a while now, about what's happening in their hometown, or maybe your hometown. These are the live pictures.
Yeah, I'll tell
And these are the images that we want to bring you. Go ahead, speak in my ear one more time.
Hey, Mike, we got some news for you. We had a gust of 131 coming out of Naples, 131 with this eye wall moving on shore. So very strong winds in this area. I know you're feeling it right now, but that is the latest coming out just a few minutes ago, 131 mile per hour wind gust.
Do we have any idea where these gusts are measured, Dr. Barr? I know that I've had it on experiencing 130. Where I am, I would estimate we're experiencing, maybe 70 or 80 mile an hour winds, but not 130.
No, I think, Mike, right where you are, again, I think those values are off to your east, that we're seeing that northeastern side, that real extreme northeastern side of the circulation
have the best meteorologists in the world that forecast them. This is why we have pilots that risk their lives flying into them to observe them. And the goal is to protect lives, and the goal is to protect property. And you know, there are people that dedicate their lives to doing these things. And as meteorologists that broadcast on television, for us, bringing you these pictures brings it home. That's why we stand out here and we bring these images to you, so you realize what these storms are like when something clicks, right? Something clicks and says, now I get it. Now I get what a hurricane is. I think I'm now I get it. These winds that we're getting right now, 70-ish, 80-ish miles an hour with the highest gusts now being over 130 miles an hour. Which to me it's just absolutely insane. But we know the gusts can be higher. I know our sustained winds, Dr. Barr, right? Like 120. But we know the gusts can go significantly higher than that.
Yeah, Mike, even in the area of tropical storm force winds, this is the real danger. We could be seeing gusts much higher than that. Again, with this threat, this system, and a storm this big, those winds are huge. I mean,
Wait,
this
just
could really
one
get
second.
up. And I was trying to look here at the information coming in to get an idea of what it is over you right now. But easily, we could be seeing gusts into the 100-mile-per-hour range. Those winds are absolutely screaming. And again, that system, that eye wall is still making its way to the north of you. It's not quite cleared out yet, but we're seeing it move ever so slowly to your north.
It's just when you think you might get a break, Irma's got one more last gust to give you, right? This is now, as intense as the winds have been since we've been out here. Now it's gusting really, now it's starting to see more things fly, right? Now we're starting to see a 3 degrees start to fly. You can barely see anything down US 41 with the intensity of the wind and the rain right now. This is a Category 3. This is what a Category 3 is. This is the landfall southwest Florida. This is what we prep for. This is what we forecast for. And these are the winds that we always hope we won't get. But we know at some point in time, hurricanes are inevitable. And this is what we have to live with. You know, this is an amazing planet that we live on. And the things that it can do will just floor you sometimes. That's what's happening right now with this Category 3 that's coming through Naples right now.
Hey, Mike, I'm looking at the latest scan here, and it looks like things might be starting to clear out. Again, just with the latest scan, lightening up a little bit. You viewers at home, if you're watching, Mike is bracing literally. These strong winds are not letting up. This eye wall is literally right over Naples. Mike, you're almost there. The clearing is literally just off to your south. Hang in there. You are almost there. We're seeing it clear out.
I'm with Doc. I'm with you, man. I'm doing my best. This truly is exhausting. Sometimes I feel like I'm in good shape. I'm not so sure anymore. This is an eye wall. This is truly an eye wall here. And now the intensity of it is right upon us. Right here in the heart of Naples, right along US 41 Tamiami Trail. If you go down,
I'm looking at the eye.
head down to the right, you'll get to all the beaches. You'll go down to the mall straight ahead. So many people that come down here for vacation.
Winds are 88 and gusts are 131. Naples.
The deal. But I look around again. I keep scanning because I'm always watching for flying debris. I've seen very little. Just bits and pieces here and there. The trees are doing pretty well. Which I can say for myself. But ultimately, we're going to get out of this. This is only going to last for a few hours. We're going to be out of this, and we're going to have an opportunity to take a breather, right? But right now, it's full force hurricane, no question about it. And the beating that Marco Island, Naples, Everglades City, Fort Myers are going to take is going to be something you're not ever going to forget. And then when you've got the story that you tell your children, your grandchildren, you can say, yes, I did live through a Category 3 hurricane. And this is what that is. This gives you a really good idea of categories of hurricanes, right? We're 120 mile an hour hurricane with gusts that are a little bit higher than that. So we're mid-grade Category 3, okay? And you can even make the argument that this hurricane, maybe we were even a low-grade Category 3. That is what you're seeing right now on your screen. And I'm sure for so many of you at home, you're watching this going, I'm scared. You know, I'm scared about what my town is going to look like. I evacuated. I'm scared about what I'm going to come back and see. Rightfully so. I think I probably would be too. If I had family here, I had loved ones here, and I'd probably be scared to death for them. That's for sure. So shelter in place. That's what we're doing right now. Everyone in Collier County is shelter in place right now. In a safe location, sturdy building. It's good to know that many of the buildings here are in code. A lot of them are constructed out of concrete, and so that can take an immense amount of wind.
And Mike, we're getting the latest information here. Sustained winds at 95 miles per hour. That's likely what you're facing. Greg, where was that report out of? The airport. Out of the airport. Sustained winds at 95.
Yeah, totally believe that. This is as nasty as it gets. But for category 3 of this statute, think about if this were a Cat 4 or a Cat 5. Look at what you're seeing right now. This is a mid-grade hurricane, okay? This is not a Cat 4 or Cat 5. This is a
95 mile per hour winds and gust 131.
Just imagine, Irma at its height. Remember when Irma had 85 miles per hour winds? Imagine what that would look like now. Because you just said, Dr. Navarro, okay, winds right now are 95 miles per hour. Double that. Imagine what this looks like out here.
I can't imagine. What I'm looking at right now is unbelievable. I mean, looking at off of 41 there, I believe you're on, right? Just looking off in the distance. Guys at home, I'm watching Mike, and he's literally just trying to stand up. He's trying to just stand. Imagine a storm here coming in at higher than that. Again, a Category 4 or 5 storm. Mike, lucky that this thing has downgraded to Category 3, but even still, the winds there that you're seeing are unbelievable.
Yeah, this is real life, right? This is when you hear people at the Weather Channel, listen, we're number freaks, right? We spit out a lot of numbers at you. We throw a number out there like 100 miles an hour. Does anybody really, and even as meter
be honest. We can, let me know if you need a second.
That hurt. I'll admit, that hurt.
Yes, all right. Let's take it from here in the studio, guys. We're seeing right now Mike Bettis out in Naples, Florida. The eye wall is underway there in the area. We're seeing some incredible winds coming out of this region. 135-mile-per-hour wind gust was reported at the Naples airport just a few minutes ago. You're seeing on your screen right now, that circle is where Mike Bettis is located, and there's that eye wall moving off to the north. We're seeing that eye, the center of circulation
Gust
that's
just
fairly
went up
clear
to
just to the south,
135
moving into
in
that area.
Naples
Marco
Airport.
Island is where this storm has made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane at about 3:35 p.m. today. We have extreme wind warnings up for the Naples area. This is Collier and Hendry County, and it's easy to believe that. You're seeing on there, that is Mike Bettis' camera right now, his crew that is in Naples, Florida, and just look at the wind. Look at the trees. They are absolutely getting hammered right now with the eye wall of this storm. Sustained winds at 95 miles per hour. We're gusting up to 135. That is likely not over their direct location, but very close to where they are. We're seeing wind gusts there. And there's Mike back on the screen. But Mike, those extreme wind warnings have been extended off to the north. That eye wall is still moving northward. We're waiting for that center of circulation to come your way, but it looks like things might be lightening up fairly soon.
Yeah, we're hoping for that. You know, at this point, we're praying for an eye. Once you have to endure one of these eye walls, you know, you never forget it. And with these things, now the most intense of the winds within the eye wall, you start seeing things fly, and that's what we see now. I now start to see portions of, now I start to see portions of trees that are starting to go. I see stuff starting to fly down the road now. I'm a duck under cover here.
How do you
just a little bit, 'cause I don't want to,
based on
I'll let
what
the
average wind or
vehicle
wind
take the
gusts?
beating, not me. But we'll keep our pictures out there. I'll try to give
What
you a
category
little
is this
commentary
one?
on what you see. Not
3, that's what I saw.
But the gust is still
start to see
135 with the wind.
last thing
Yeah.
I want to be doing is standing out there and hitting the noggin
No,
with
you're quite
with the microphone. So I'll
Yeah.
duck in for cover here for just a little bit. As the most intense.
No, I mean, it's, I thought we had all the doors open. That's,
just for boy, the car
Yes.
is really rocking now too.
but not at 69, more like at 73
That is
or so,
intense.
4.
That
74.
is seriously intense. Amazing to see what Mother Nature can do. That is for sure. I still
You should, Lisa,
right here
the
down
sun sets. Lisa, do you want the time for the sunset?
I still see that a lot of them are upright. Maybe that just
And the
goes to
time
show
for
you,
the sun.
how strong they are. And maybe it goes to show you, especially the palm, they do all right. They really do okay. But if we can get through this eye wall, this
Can
will
you
be
make
the
it
worst.
bigger?
All right,
again?
this is the worst of it right here for you,
Okay.
Naples. We think eventually we're going to get some calmer winds, maybe at least a portion of the eye, and then we will maybe have to deal with a little bit of the backside of the eye wall, but that will be weaker than this. Not to say it won't be strong, but it won't be this necessarily, which is a good thing. So all the damage that Irma may be dishing out as far as the winds go is happening right now. And these images are just flat out scary. I mean, just scary.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I see more stuff flying now. Gonna stay down low here so things don't hit us. Our crew is safe. Our crew's all under cover. I've ducked down now into some cover. Just too dangerous to be outside. I do see some low-lying areas now at this location where we are, starting to fill up with a little bit of water. That's because we've had such intense rainfall rates right now. And just to give you a little perspective on how we're actually having a broadcast for you, our cameraman is actually inside a vehicle. He's shooting out a window so that he can stay inside and not get blown over himself or get the camera absolutely soaking wet, and we won't be able to bring you any pictures. Look at these winds now, gusting over 130 miles an hour in Naples, and you can barely see anything. It is just a wall of wind and water right now. As intense as Irma is going to be here along the West Coast. It's happening right now in Naples. And this is the heart of a Category 3 right here. This is it. This is a CAT.3, and these are the pictures that are real. Marry these pictures with the radar, and those of you at home that are meteorologists or love to watch the weather, put the two of those images together, right? These pictures and a radar, and it sends it home, doesn't it? And you get a total idea of what the weather can do. Irma is just one nasty storm right now. Category 3, making landfall here in Southwest Florida. Wind gusts in Naples over 130 miles an hour. And this is the brunt of it. This is as bad as it will get right here, right? But literally in minutes, this will all go dead calm. Amazing to think that will happen. What we're doing is we're working our way closer and closer to the circulation center. The lowest pressure is about to come over it. And at the center of that lowest pressure is the calm. But it's the fury just outside of that is the beast. This is something to behold. And it's been a long time since a place like Naples had a hit like this. Yes, we had Irma. It was a big, quick wind maker for us. This is a little bit different animal, for sure.
Yeah, Mike, it's Erica here back in the studio. We're looking at the radar, and the worst of it is very much off to your east. It's hard to imagine looking at your camera right now, but if you look on the radar, we're likely seeing the strongest winds off to your east. So things are not nearly as bad over you as they could be with this system. And just judging by the way Mike is standing, for the people at home, I mean, these winds are easily gusting into the 100-mile-per-hour range, Mike. But that eye wall is just off to the south. I can see here, you're roughly just to the north. We're trying to pinpoint your exact location so I can tell you when that eye wall will be in. But again, it looks like it's within 10, 15 minutes that we could be seeing things starting to change.
Yeah, I know that. But see, there you can see it.
15 minutes of my life. The gusts are so free. The highest gust is so quick, 2 seconds away, right? But the problem is now coming more frequently. You get a gust that happens like once a minute. Now you're getting a gust that happens 3, 4, 5 times a minute. The same wind are now elevated, right? So now you're just crashing it up.
Hey, Mike, take a second. You need a second?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so be safe out there, Mike. We're watching now. We're looking at the radar, and I'm here with Brian Norcross and weather producer Greg Diamond, and we're looking at the worst of the eyeball here off to the east. That center of circulation is off to the south, but we're all discussing, judging by the where Mike Bettis is, we could be seeing these conditions persisting for a little while longer. It might not. That eye wall is wobbling around a little bit. Some of those areas might not get as clear as we're expecting. So, Mike, keep you and your crew safe out there. Things may be persisting a little bit longer here than we're liking because we're seeing those stronger values coming in, and it might be a little while.
Mike, it's Brian.
Thank you. I appreciate the update.
Mike, it's Brian. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing is that the eye wall, that the eye is let me put a dot on the map. Put a dot there, Erica, where Mike is. You see that the eye has jogged a little to the right, so you're kind of on the left quadrant of the eye wall. You're definitely in it, but the question is whether the eye is going to miss you by a tiny bit as it moves up toward Fort Myers. It's going to be a close call where you are. I think that the wind will come down because you're going to get out of that northern eye wall into what the radar shows as green. But I don't know that you're going to get the heart of the eye. So Mother Nature may not give you the complete break you would get if you were just a few miles farther to the east.
Gosh, I'd take 50-mile-an-hour winds at this point. Hey, guys, I will tell you my exact location. Maybe you can pinpoint it on a map. Naples North Cleaners, 5075, US 41.
Yeah,
Exact.
we looked you up.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been tracking you, Mike. We looked you up there at the Hilton. You're right by the Hilton, right?
All right.
We're going to get you up on the radar here. We're setting up your exact location so we can get a pretty clear idea. We're seeing those lighter colors now on the radar moving into where our map is showing us where Naples is. But Mike Bettis, so again, is likely up further north along 41 here.
Just a little bit. Just right up in here somewhere. Is that right, Greg Diamond? Right there, right? Yeah. Yeah, so he's right on 41, but we can see, look at the edge of the eye there. Look at that. So as this is going, it looks like it's going this way. Now, it may kind of go up and jog, who knows. But it's going to be very close on this second side, on this west side, whether he ever gets completely out of it. But I think once the eye wall gets past, the western eye wall is just weaker. But the thing is, Mike, that the western eye wall, the winds are going to come in from the north, right down 41 at you. What direction are your winds now, Mike?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Screaming out of the north right now. So I'm facing north, and you're shooting toward the south. That's the way the camera's pointed. So all the wind is directly out of the north right now. You're exactly right. I think that's something interesting for you. I feel like if you were to take the northern eye wall, get some eye, and then get the southern eye wall, you spend less time in the highest wind than if you say a western or eastern eye wall with that south on the hurricane.
Yeah, well, with that wind coming right down the Tamiami Trail there, that now you don't have the buildings on either side of the street that kind of protecting you. So you're getting this long fetch right down highways. You get that on highways when you're on a broad street. And the wind comes down the street, it just comes down stronger.
Hey, Mike, we're getting some
the funnel, the air between buildings and accelerators. There are no buildings funneling this wind right now. It's wide open space. And so this is legit wind.
Yeah, Mike, we're hearing now also that the water level has risen up to 3 feet in 18 minutes.
Oh, man.
So it's coming in, even with the north wind, it's coming
That's
in.
amazing to think that.
Well, so what's happened is...
That is amazing to think that is going to happen. Wait, look to the west, right?
Yeah, well, so what's happening is that the wind is north now, and so the wind stress on the water is let up. So the water is just filling back in by its own, right? But now when the wind goes to the west, that's going to push the water. So this is only the first stage of the water coming back on the Gulf side of Naples there.
That's always been the fear is how much storage will we get. So a little bit of
Full
because of
sleep.
the angle that this is coming in, we knew it would happen. We knew there would be maybe a little bit of a lag.
It says place in the shade where we can sit and play chess. So we don't have to sit in the, we will sit out there on the table, but there's a lot of sun on the way.
We may be realizing the higher end of our storm surge forecast.
Well, we do have one good thing going for us. It's not going to stop the storm surge, but the bottom end of the eye is not as strong as the top. The bottom eye wall, southern eye wall, has been eroded by dry air. So this is and shear. So this is a disorganized eye that has in the strongest side, not the absolute strongest part of the northern eye wall, but the northern eye wall appears to be stronger. Now, we still have very strong winds and a long period of west winds that are going to push the water ashore, but they likely are not as gusty as what you're seeing here on the northern side of the eye. In fact, is it letting up, Mike? Is it letting up a little bit?
I'll tell you this now, too.
Yep.
It's hard to tell. Maybe just a little bit. I do start now to take it. I take a look. Maybe the visibility is just a little bit better. Might be a little bit. I am noticing now. I've been watching the street. There was one right behind our vehicle. Now there's a palm tree snapped in half now. So now I'm starting to see some damage. Tree damage we can deal with, right? Tree damage is tree down, replant a new one. It's a little bit different, especially when your house becomes uninhabitable. But for sure,
Generally speaking, it's NATO. Okay, what?
A gust just went up to
I love you
142.
guys. I hate you right now for telling me we may not get that eye. I think I was really banking on that. But
Mike.
then we can see that. Boy, it's a little lighter right now. That's a good thing.
We're doing everything we can, Mike, to help you and give you the latest.
So Mike will give you a little good news for your location.
Hey, do you see this? Do you see how much lighter it is right now?
Yes.
You see this?
Yes. Yes.
Well, okay, so what that means, Mike, is that the eye wall, the northern eye wall, is pushing past you, and you're getting into the part of the eye wall, what's left of it, that is not as vertical. You know, you don't have as many clouds between you and the sunshine. Right?
All right. Yeah, well, I'll take it. It's a glimmer of hope at this point.
Well, and the other thing that's frightening, I was going to say the thing that's frightening, Mike, is that the winds are almost certainly faster, stronger to your east. And so the neighborhoods and the buildings to your east are likely, getting it worse, if you can imagine, than the wind you're in there right now.
Yeah, and that's tough to think about because you think now of how much population we've got on the west coast of Florida, from Everglades City and Naples northbound, right? And it's just teeming with neighborhoods. The population has exploded in Florida. So, yeah, to your point there, Ryan, now we've got a lot more things to hit with the wind, and the wind is more intense inland than it is right here.
Yeah, just because of the way the eye configured itself. Now, the fact that it is kind of tracking inland a little bit is actually a little better for the storm surge. Although this is such a big circulation, I don't know how much difference that will make. But you would think that this would, in general, weaken it would weaken a little faster by having the eye over more land here. So this may be, on balance, taking the whole state together, this may be a little better. But for the inland sections of metropolitan Southwest Florida, they are taking a really hard hit on the radar. There's very enhanced cells east of I-75 that are going to head up into the suburbs of Fort Myers as we go here in the next hour or so.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
How we determine if that storm is weakening? Hurricane hunters aren't going to fly anymore, are they? We're going to do this through satellite observation or ground observation?
Oh, God.
Hurricane hunters are not going to fly. We're going to have surface observations. There are a lot of surface sites here. And, given the observations that we've seen with gusts up 140, 142 miles per hour, it'll be interesting to see. They may call this a Category 4 at landfall. Once they do the final analysis and get all the readings in, that remains to be seen. Officially, at this point, it's a Category 3. But certainly we're seeing gusts well in the Category 4 territory.
She wants to see it on
Maybe
the
some areas.
Can we turn it on for her?
Turn it on.
She can sit here next to me.
I can sit next to you.
Yeah, you can see it. What's the hurricane? I called Fred.
Fred who?
Hurricane.
What about him?
He's right in the eye right now.
Oh, did he know that?
Winds 95 miles an hour and gust 142.
That's Florida, right?
Yeah.
What did he sound okay?
Yeah. No, he said, I'm going to say, give us the other side.
Gust 142.
Mike, so if you just think, if you want to try and break down the door, you don't just push on it, you shake it. And the longer you shake it, the more you weaken it. And then eventually it fails.
Okay.
So it's the longevity of the
I can't
gust.
eat
That's
it
why
right now.
big
Can you
hurricanes
keep it?
that might
I
not
gotta
have
watch this storm
this
because of
violence
Adam.
like a hurricane
Adam needs to stop this storm right now.
They can do tremendous damage over a wide area because of the duration. It also, by the way, with the trees, the more it rains, the more saturated the ground gets, the weaker the root systems get, and then you're doing that to the trees, and you're shaking, and then you get trees uprooted. And we've seen this actually in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, big trees down all over town because of that continuous wind that's been going much longer than it has there in your area. And by the way, wind gusts there are well over 100 in Miami for an extended period of time.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing that you can get wind gusts that high, that far away from the eye? That's stunning to me that could happen. But we know, I know Brian, you preach a lot, that have impacts far away from the center. That's playing out with Irma. Purely the size of this, makes it a different hurricane altogether than some we've had to deal with in the past.
Yeah, it's 100 miles from Naples to Miami, and actually there were wind gusts well over 100 miles an hour, 130 miles per hour. I think in the 130s. Now that was a little bit of elevation, but right by downtown Miami at Jackson Hospital. Now, so widespread areas there. Just think the entire state, the width of the state, with gusts in that range.
Yeah, that's nuts. And I am looking now back towards, we're mentioning our location. I look back toward the Hilton Hotel. There's one tree down, a big tree down now, right by the parking lot here. But again, I look down 41. I'm somewhat encouraged by what I see at this location. I know it won't fit this way everywhere. There's certainly places that are better than others, that's for sure. But most of the construction here is to code. Very few businesses along 41 here have big overhangs where they just become big wind catchers. They're very short overhangs. They have special code.
So we're watching right now live coverage of Mike Bettis out of Naples, Florida. There he is undergoing what is the eye of Hurricane Irma, and we're seeing some communication issues likely, but you're seeing there just the incredible winds. It's no surprise there that the communication would have failed. But taking a look at the video, we've got reports now that the water levels have risen 3 feet in nearly 18 minutes. So even with that slight shift of winds there as the center of circulation is moving to the north, we're seeing that water level rise significantly in the Naples area. We've had reports of wind gusts of 142 miles per hour. That is off to the east in what is the northeastern quadrant of that eye, the strongest eye wall. But where Mike Bettis is, we're seeing now, hey, Mike, I'm watching the radar, and although the eye looks like it is degrading a little bit, it is filling in some areas. But judging by where I think you are, based on the radar here, I'm seeing the yellow move to your north. It looks like it might be clearing out of your area. Have you noticed any change whatsoever in either the wind or the rain?
Sure, both. Yes, both have backed off a little bit. I can be out here without the safety glasses on now, so maybe now we're getting that part of the storm that's a little bit weaker. Maybe we've got through the worst of the eye wall at this point, although there'll still be moments where you're going to get some pretty decent gusts out here. But now the visibility has improved quite a bit. The skies are a little bit lighter, which is very, very encouraging. And in fact, I look up the street. Street lights are still on. I still see green and working. Green light just went to yellow light, just went to red light. That's encouraging signs there. But maybe this is a testament to how well we have built in the state of Florida, especially in South Florida. And this is, who knows? Maybe we'll come through this and say, it could have been so much worse. And I know we often say that, but maybe in this case it'll be really true. But I think to your point there, Dr. Navarro, that a little bit better now than we were even just a few minutes ago.
Hey, Mike, quick question for you, and then I want to get to the latest advisory from the Hurricane Center. Is this the worst weather you've ever covered?
Probably. Listen, I went through the eye wall of Hurricane Ivan in Pensacola. That was a beast, for sure. It's a scary hurricane because it hit at night. It's a little different when it's daylight. You have a little bit more confidence that you can see things in daylight. But I would say outside of the wind tunnel, probably the strongest winds I've ever been in, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Judging by what I'm seeing, I would not be surprised. But hey, we've got the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center, downgraded to a Category 2 hurricane. So winds now at 110 miles per hour. Not surprised here based on the interaction with land and that center of circulation coming on shore. But man, that doesn't mean that storm is done yet. It's not done at all. Even at a Category 2, still seeing some strong winds.
Love it. that's being downgraded. Those winds, we can just keep ticking those winds down as we get this thing north, because we know places like Sarasota, St. Pete, Tampa, where we have literally millions of people, are next to be hit. So every little degradation helps, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, you were talking about this before. If we were seeing a true Category 4, Category 5 intensity coming on shore there, it would be nearly double of what you're experiencing. Wow, things really look like they have lightened up just in the last minute, Mike.
Yeah, this is great. This is great news. You know, it gives you just a moment to survey what's going on. You know, I see a little bit of damage. I see some trees that are down. I see a stop sign down there that got taken out. But you know, I do see some trees that are down there. Oh, here we go. There's one thing that I had been watching was, you see these yellow roof buildings to my left here. There are signs in there. The top sign got blown out a long time ago, but the bottom sign was still in there. There's a nail spa. It's not there anymore. That got blown out. But I look overall now, and there's some thunder.
Okay. Hey, Mike, all is that a window blown in?
Time to hop in the car. Where?
Yeah, it looked like there was tape over the window there. What you were just showing on the camera, we couldn't tell here.
I'll ask the cameraman real quick.
No worries.
Window blown in somewhere? Were you zooming in on the window? No. Maybe not. I think it was just a sign. I think maybe it's just a sign for the business there that got blown out. But a lot of these businesses down here either have shutters or they have hurricane force windows that are meant to withstand some pretty significant wind, and a lot of them meant to withstand even projectiles. I look at a lot of the businesses, and many of them have not put up shutters. They just have exposed windows. A lot of them look really, really good. So that's a really good sign.
That's great news. It's amazing to see the difference here in just a matter of minutes. The visibility, Mike, we could barely see down the road just a few minutes ago, and now you're looking well across the street, and there's almost, I mean, it's a little misty here from what I'm seeing, but man, what a difference.
Yeah, it's night and day. It's night and day, and it's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, maybe there are going to be some opportunities for some. We're not really going to end up being in the eye. There'll still be some opportunities, you know, for windy conditions, breezy conditions. But I look way down the road, and I see, you know, flashing street lights way down there that I couldn't see before. And so this is really encouraging to see this coming in. But we still know there's still more, a little bit more of that eye wall to go. How much more do you think we'll have to go through before we can get out at least clear of the strongest of the winds?
Yeah, Mike, we're watching at the radar, and it looks like that eye is moving. It's kind of degraded a bit. It's not looking as clear as it was, just from my judgment here about an hour ago. And it looks like it's actually moving off towards the east, so it's shifting a little bit. But looking at the radar, there's greens over you now instead of yellow. The highest winds are certainly now moving off to the north and to the northeast. So we're not. It looks like you might be out of it. If you're not already, you will be fairly soon, judging by what I'm looking like here, because it's moving off to the north.
Yeah, it is great to hear that. I probably don't need the glasses anymore. You know, we've just got, you know, maybe a 15, 20 mile an hour wind, maybe right now. So way down from what we had just a few minutes ago. So, you know, even if we're not going to get the eye per se, I think that'll be okay. If we could just get out of the band of the strongest storms associated with that eye wall, it offers some relief. And we've noticed even, you know, before the storm ramped up, the winds weren't, they weren't so intense you couldn't stand it, right? The winds were gusty, you know, sustained at 20, gusting to 40 maybe, which all things considered not that bad. So if we could just get to that moment, which was really, you know, outside of the eye wall, it was just, I mean, 20 minutes before the eye wall got there. So you don't have to go far out of the eye wall to start seeing a pretty dramatic drop off in the winds.
Yeah, that gradient is amazing. It's just truly amazing how quickly things change here. And if that eye, I would love to see what it looked like in Marco Island when that eye clear moved over, because they were smack in the middle of that center. They took on the eye wall, and then they were in the clear.
That would be something to see. You know, as a meteorologist, you're kind of like, oh, man, would have loved to have been in the eye. But,
No.
you know, it is what it is. Hurricanes do things. I mean, they change, they wobble, they do all kinds of different things, and it's sometimes hard to put yourself right in that eye. But it is interesting to see now that the winds have backed off quite a bit.
No.
You know, you don't have to necessarily brace myself against the wind at this point, and visibility dramatically improved. But now I start to think about what we've talked about quite a
Well,
bit.
now
here.
they're in the eye
More
right
the
now, so it's
backside of the
completely
storm.
fine.
And if we end up getting that westerly push of wind, then that pushes so much water onto shore here. And now we
There's,
start
like,
to think
no
more and
wind.
more about the surge impacts.
Yeah, absolutely,
Oh,
Mike. Those
poor
surge
guy.
impacts are going to be imminent, and we're seeing
He's
that
not in the wind
change in wind
anymore.
direction to your south, and that's where we're expecting the worst of the surge to really occur. Now that the center is moving off, that surge is going to begin, and we've already seen it. We've seen those levels picking up. But hey, Mike, we're going to give you a break here for a second. You just went through an eye wall of a hurricane. We're going to talk a little bit about these tornado warnings that are going off. You are an incredible and amazing. Thank you, Mike, for doing everything you do. Here, yes. Even without an eye wall here. Yes, Mike.
When you think you're good. Just when you think you're good, Doc, there she goes.
Mike,
Oh, hey,
be
look.
safe.
Hey. Oh, tell me we're going to get a bit of sunshine. Oh. This would be amazing, right?
You nailed
No.
it. You got it, Mike.
I'm hoping for it. There it is.
Is
There it is.
building?
At least part of it.
Yeah, but
There's the
it's
eye.
not as bad.
After getting beaten and bruised and battered, there's the eye. That's nice.
Wow.
That's real nice.
Mike, hard work truly pays off there. You withstood the eye wall of a hurricane there for nearly 45 minutes. I'm not really sure. And yet you got a little bit of sunshine. Amazing. Mike, but yes, take a second. Please be safe. Get your crew, we thank you. Seriously, we've got to talk a bit about these tornado warnings that are happening along the eastern coast of Florida, because even well away from the center, things are still energetic. Things are still really picking up. It's not just one area here. There are many areas in Florida that are being impacted by Hurricane Irma. We're going to keep Mike's live cam up so that you can see what's going on in Naples, but we're going to show you and get you the latest on the tornado warnings there on the lower right hand of your screen. So we've got some storms to tell you about here in Stewart and Fort Pierce. This is south of Melbourne. We've seen very strong outer bands moving into these areas with some significant spin-ups being indicated on the radar. These storms are moving, it looks like off to the north here, but look at this, a strong couplet there offshore there. Very strong rotation being indicated by the radar, and I'm hearing they're moving off to the northwest at 60 miles per hour, 60. That is near highway speeds. These are very fast-moving supercell thunderstorms coming on shore here on the eastern coast of Florida. This tornado warning is for Brevard and the Indian River County areas. You can see there again some rotations being indicated. That's right on 95 there. Down in Vero Beach, this is north of Florida Ridge. Here we go, in the Indian Shores area. The name is obscuring the rotation that's underneath there, just about to come over Highway 1. Thank you, Greg, for removing that. There's that rotation, some strong rotation indicated by the radar about to move over that highway. Again, these are moving off to the northwest, and these systems are moving very quickly, 60 miles per hour. So if we time this out for you, this will be off towards Winter Beach at 5:04. It'll be into the Fellsmere area. Shortly after that, Vero Lakes Estates by 5:11. So in just about 8 minutes or so, heading off into that area. These storms will be moving over I-95 as well. So again, there are multiple tornado warnings here. Let's move a little bit farther up to the north now to Brevard County. This is in the Titusville area north of Rockledge. So again, another tornado warning here from some strong outer bands that are moving on shore. And look at this, two different areas of rotation, one that is onshore and one that is coming that way. So this is to the north and west of Merritt Island. Very strong circulation there being indicated by the radar right over what looks like a 402. This one is moving at 30 miles per hour, so not as fast as the other ones, but again, still moving off here towards I-95. This is likely a threat we are going to see throughout the day today and even into the days to come, tomorrow and potentially even Tuesday. Strong outer bands here coming in. So timing this guy out for you, again, this is moving off to the northwest. Mims, you can expect these storms to move through by just about 5:19. Scottsmore, you can expect those storms by 5:30.